Man, welcome back to another episode of the Think Successfully Room. This is a platform where we focus on building mindsets, we building character, bringing value to both you and your people, and aligning your body with your intelligence. I'm your host, QB So Effing Amazing. This is Tiffany Ingram, and together we talk about the evolution of technology, which we all know is artificial intelligence.
That is so intelligent. See, it get better and better every time.
Hey, it's gonna get swifter and swifter. It's definitely gonna get swifter and swifter. But man, Tiff, this AI with the bringing dead relatives back. Yeah, this might be an interesting one right here, and I can't wait to get into this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had pulled up some things.
And well, first you gotta tell them what it is, right?
Oh,
so
okay, yeah.
How we begin here? And y'all, we need straight ad-libbing, like.
Okay, so this is how we got here. So normally before we hop on these, I'm gonna just tell y'all the whole process. Okay. Normally before we hop on these episodes, we are digging into different articles that we feel will be relevant or at least catch the attention of the audience. And it can go either or. I might send something to Tiff, or either she might send something to me, and then sometimes most of the times we agree on something like, okay, this one probably to go right here. Yeah. So she sent me an article. I can't remember the exact title of that article. Let's just say they have created something where you can utilize artificial intelligence to pretty much replicate a dead relative.
Yeah.
That right there caught my attention. Like, okay, I don't know how I feel about that one. Is it like me and her both are very in tune with the AI space, but sometimes you gotta let life be life. You know, that's just the circle of life. We lose people, you know. And my biggest concern with this was that how can you interrupt the grieving process of losing a dead relative? That's just something. So now, if I'm capable of, if I have a tool at the tip of my fingertips, right, that allows me to replicate, let's say my father, for example, you know, I lost him when I was 2. I don't want to replicate that because I want y'all to understand something. Like, losing a father at the age of 2 is very difficult, especially when you growing up around cousins and brothers that have a father, and that's just something you missing as a child. It took me years to get over that. So why would I want to sit here and create him and then have to restart that whole grieving process all over again? You know, I didn't really accept his death into my early 20s, for real. So that was very difficult for me to deal with, and immediately, first she'll tell you, my response was like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
It was like, and so I didn't even know if we were going to talk about it today. So, So to add a little bit more context, I saw there's an influencer that I follow on IG. Well, really my algorithms are all AI, right?
Yeah.
And so I spend a lot of time just really trying to figure out what's phony, what's fake, what's real, what way what direction are we heading? And so it was a reel. And so the caption on the reel was, what do you think? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think it's cause for concern? And so the app is called Two Way. And so what they do is everybody's seeing these AI twins pop up. Like, you create an AI twin. I've created AI twins to do messaging for me. And some of them look just like me. Like, I'm sitting right here in my home office. And what it does, basically, in the reel that I sent over, this lady had created an AI twin of her grandmother. Her grandmother passed away. And the baby, she had a baby that was born. And so now she's introducing this baby to the AI twin, right? And like, this is grandma, and the AI twin is like, hey, Johnny, how are you? So Johnny's growing up, and I'm quite sure there was some context around it, like, hey, grandma's no longer here, But okay, now Johnny gets older and he starts talking, right?
Mhm.
And so he's talking to the AI twin grandma because, again, this app has collected enough information to build this AI twin, like the grandmother would speak and make some of the references that she would reference. And
Yeah.
so Johnny then becomes a dad and introduces his son to the AI twin. So that was a real, like real short, kind of drag out, but short story, long story short. And to your point, I think it causes concern for me, because I think it does prolong the grieving process. It prolongs
Absolutely.
the inevitable. You know,
Mhm.
I lost my dad this year, and him and I didn't have
Condolences.
a real close relationship, and he left this world with me having a lot more questions than I have answers. And
Mhm.
I would have loved to have had a relationship with him because, like you, um, not having my dad in my life has really it's shown up in different ways, and I had to be cognizant enough to know, like, hey, these behaviors or this outlook, even on relationships, is because your dad wasn't you and him didn't have a really good relationship. And
Mhm.
so I look at that from a sense of I struggle now, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that could be for people that struggle with the loss of a loved one, that could really be um a hurdle or a sticking point because you'll never let go.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
never say goodbye. You'll
Yeah.
never accept the fact that they're no longer here, you know, and that's a tough pill to swallow,
It
right?
is.
And then when you bring another life into this world, and then introduce them like, hey, this is grandma. And now as this person gets older, they're talking to a phone. They're not talking to that person. And one thing I always tell people now, especially when I talk to clients about AI or just when I'm talking and speaking in general, AI will never replace a person, and that's what they're trying to do.
Thanks.
You're trying to fill a void, and it can't. It's going to give you, it's like a problem, right? 1 plus 1 is 2. It's going to give you outputs based on what it think you might want to hear, but it's not that person. So, um, this is one of the areas I'm like, okay, we might have crossed the line a little bit because once
That
someone is
was
gone, they're gone.
that is it's over with. And it's a few things I want to say, Tiff, just based off first and foremost. I didn't know about your dad. My
Yeah.
condolences. But it's I forgot his name, but it's actually an executive out in China that was
Hmm.
responsible for a he helped create a platform that allows you to be able to replicate dead relatives, and he did this based off the fact that he wanted to create something that would help him replicate what his mother was, right? And if that's something you want to do, then by all means, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like that'll mess everybody else up. Like, so you pretty much put this out into the world and profit from it,
Yeah.
but not really realizing, like, okay, they already going through a tough time already. They probably was very close with the person that they lost, right? And it's
Yeah.
probably very difficult for them to get through that. So if you create something that sparks something that they once had with that person, now, like you said, they may never get over this,
Yeah.
simply because they want to rush home every day and hop on the tablet or cell phone to be
Yep.
able to talk to this person that doesn't exist no more,
Yeah.
right? Then you brought up something about the data that's being used, right? So I want to explain to the people. Let me just find it real quick. I want to explain to the people exactly what's being used or how they are able to replicate a dead relative, right? So the technology works like this. So the data input, so they what they do is they utilize info data or digital information that already exists, like text messages. This can be emails, photos, audio recordings. It could be videos of the dead person, right? The AI then takes that data and feed it into what we would call a large language model
Hmm.
and other machine learning programs to generate a likeness of that person, right? This is different mannerisms, speech patterns, and even a life story, right? So when all of that is processed, the final product it turns from like a text-based chat bots to an interactive 3D model of that avatar, which they would call dead bots or ghost bots. And this is how they are able to create something that pretty much looks and acts exactly like the person that you lost.
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly perfect. I like the way you broke that down. And ultimately, again, what that does is it prolongs a natural process that we have,
Yeah,
right? We all know that birth and the expiration of life is a part of life, right? And
absolutely.
what I found to be kind of disturbing, well, the way my original thought, as you were saying that, the way that this app has packaged it, they call it like it preserves your legacy. So you hear a
Mhm.
lot of people that I know a lady that owns a company where it's an actual book and you capture the stories of your elders. So you
Mhm.
have those when they pass on, right? So
Yeah.
this app just took it a step further. And like you said, you're recording that person. You take those messages and again, it's building this person. Now, in the reel that I sent to you, it was like this long story. Like
Yeah.
the girl knew her grandmother was up in age. She recorded
Mhm.
her, right? The grandmother passed away. The young lady ended up pregnant. She was talking to her. She was having a rough day. She put out her phone. When the baby was born, she's putting the phone in front of the baby's face. Like this baby can't even talk, probably doesn't even know. It's like a
Right.
regular person. So this
Yeah.
child is learning from this interaction with their grandma. Now, this child is now a teenager, then a grown man showing that, hey, I'm about to be a dad and I'm nervous, right? So
Mm.
really getting comfort from this app. And it's like, again, we can't replace people.
You can't, like, yeah, I mean, I would argue that you ruin somebody's legacy like that. How can you remember them for what they left behind if you creating something that's fake? And another problem is, Tiff, is that the the consent part. Do you really feel like this person would want you to use things that already exist to create something that's not really them? You know what I'm saying? Because how would we? I guess with the text messages, right? So let's say, I'm not sure exactly when we started texting, but let's say you got all this data, all these messages, all these videos and photos from
Uh,
15, 20 years ago. And think about how real this AI is capable of, or how real the AI can make this relative based off all this data that you done gave it. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like I would, the more data you give it, the more realistic it can make it,
yeah,
So, you might be somebody that really wanna rekindle something, or feel like you're rekindling something,
yeah,
and you might actually take the time to
yeah,
to to pull up all this data because you want something that you once had. And I just, yeah, I'm just not with it. That ain't something, like, honestly, after this conversation, that ain't like, I'm gonna do more research as far as like the development of it. But as
yeah,
far as me actually going on there and exploring these different platforms, I wouldn't even dare to do it because I don't want to get the urge of trying it out.
to
And
try to do it.
next thing you know, I'm addicted to it because of, this a person that I never met. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I was two, never really knew him. Like, I would like to know the person he was, but I don't want to step foot in that field
yeah.
because I want to get addicted to something that's not real.
You become attached to the thought. And again, I immediately think about with my dad. I learned more about my dad's life and the type of person he was in
Mhm.
his passing through his friends, through
Yeah.
people that came in contact with him. And that's the stuff that I take with me,
Right,
right?
right. You
That's the
appreciate
stuff
that.
that, and again, this is the hard part.
Mhm.
I know me. And if
Mhm.
I were to do something like that, like I would ask questions that I know that this app can't possibly give me the answer that he would give me. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
And so it's that interdependence that really worries me because, again, before I jumped on, I watched the reel again, and
Mm,
you had a child, a baby that had never met his grandmother, now showing an ultrasound picture that he's becoming a father,
yeah,
and how
that's
he
crazy.
wishes that she was here, and how scared he is. And
Mm,
it's not a person,
yeah,
right? You're now one could argue, here's devil's advocate, that it's helping them to express feelings that, again, maybe it's helping with the grief process. I'm not a licensed professional.
right,
Uh,
right.
and I can't say if it is or if it isn't. I can just tell you, um to have to try to mourn the loss, or even process the loss of a person, when I can pick up the phone and somehow have a conversation with something that looks like them, would be difficult for me.
Absolutely.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's
absolutely.
disrupting the natural flow of things. And again, I'm all for advancements. And if that's your thing, that's your thing. And you never have to let that person go in
Mm,
that perspective. But
mhm.
how realistic is that? How far away are we getting from reality if we're okay with doing that? It's like, hey, this is going to happen. This is a part of life, but I don't have to accept it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah. To me, that's saying you don't accept it. Like, I mean, it's some people, obviously, like a you and me, that if we, okay, I know this isn't real, but still though, like, I don't even want to see anything that looks like this person. Whether that's I was very close with my grandfather, lost him a few years ago. Uh, for some reason, they couldn't understand why his heart kept stopping, and they eventually, just said, "Look, I don't want him to keep suffering," and they just let him
Yeah.
go. Right. So me and him was very close, but I don't want to see anything that's moving like that person,
Yeah.
talking like that person. I want to appreciate the memories that I have, like the situation with my father. I want to appreciate the stories that's told to me, and that's what helps me cherish who they were.
Who they were.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I can't really do that if I'm constantly being presented by something that's pretending to be them. And yeah, like you said, since everybody grieve different, but I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I don't see anybody healing from that. You know,
No.
like
No.
when they no longer exist,
Yeah.
when they that's what it is. You have to let that be. That means the only thing you have is memories.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even be looking at anything that's I take offense to that. You know what I'm saying? Like man, is you mocking them? Is you being funny? Like that's how I would take that. So I don't know. I don't see myself really getting deep into that platform.
and and I don't either, just for the simple fact that I know, and again, I'm well aware of what is happening,
Mm,
but just the dependence on it. Because for
yeah.
me, it would be, I don't want to let him go.
Yeah.
The first thing that I said when I found out that he was gone was
Mm,
that I wish I had more time.
right, right, yeah.
You know what I mean? I wish I had more time to talk through things. I wish I had more time to just talk to him. And that would be the thing, right? That would be like, man, all the things that I wanted to say, that I would say it. And so that will cause an interdependence. And
Absolutely.
that's a road. My grief process will be what it is.
Mm,
I don't need anything complicating it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm,
So for me, it would give me a false hope that I could
mm,
solve a problem that I can't. So
absolutely. Yeah.
I think people just need to be mindful, just like we talk about with any of these tools. We need to be mindful of understanding what's their true nature, because people are profiting off of this, right? And
Exactly.
I think it was
Exactly.
done with good intention, right? It's a problem, right?
Mm,
Grief, no one wants to let a person go. When we go to market with things, like even you starting this podcast, you
mm,
had a vision as to why you're doing it, what problem is solving in the market. And
mhm.
so, okay, this is a problem. When people pass away, people don't want to let them go. And
Yeah.
so, I think it was built with good intention, but I just think that you need to, again, just because it's out there doesn't mean that you have to partake in it. And you have to know yourself and
Right.
understand that AI can't replace a person, and what is this really going to do with within your process of grief? Like, how is it going to
Absolutely.
help you or hinder you? And for me, it's a hard no, because it's already hard enough when you lose someone. It's like,
Mhm.
let me face the reality with this. I can't go see them. I can't hug them. I can't, no matter how much I stare at this phone, it's not them.
Especially if it's recent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's that makes it even harder. Now, I wanna throw this in there. It's two things I want to throw in there. We speak a lot when we speak on AI and tools that's capable of help building you as far as whatever it is, a business, a venture that you into. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't recommend diving into AI tools that's playing with the circle of life. Like Tiff said, I believe it was done with good intentions, but at some point,
Yeah.
yeah, it was about profit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, yeah, it probably was done with good intentions, but at some point, yeah, it was about profit. Now, my another concern of mine is like, let's say you created a replica of the a relative that you lost, person you was very close with, and you was very dependent on that person,
Mhm.
very addicted to the platform because you couldn't wait to get off work, you couldn't wait to get back home to be able to communicate with that person, and
You
somehow,
on lunch. You
yeah,
on lunch, your
you on
break,
lunch,
talking to
oh,
Big Mama. Like, for real.
you on break trying to eat, and you talking on the phone to somebody, to something that's not real. But let's
Yeah.
say something happened with the platform, and the platform over with.
Man,
Now, guess what? That grieving process just
starts
restarted.
all over.
Something you
Yeah.
could have been almost over with. It just the clock reset. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we got to be careful with the way we use these type of tools. Um, man, Tiff, it's some things I kind of want to get a little technical real quick.
Okay, nope.
'Cause
Go ahead.
I know we went through the process of the AI collecting data. That data is then used through, large language models, and then from
Mhm.
there they create the 3D model of that person, right?
Yeah.
So I wanna add some more technologies that's included, right? So we have the large language model, right? And I'm gonna just summarize this. The large language models is like the backbone for the conversation of that person. Right.
Yes.
This is what trains the AI to be able to use the text messages and emails, social media posts, conversations. The large language models takes that data to be able to create a
To
conversation
create them. Yep. Yeah.
aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the voice synthesis, right? This is a text to speech, right? This is what use the audio clips, voice recordings to create something that sounds like that person.
Yep.
Then you have the visual generation, the deepfakes, right? This is what use the photos, pictures to be able to create uh
Person.
yeah, the replica to create an avatar that looks exactly like that person. And these three technologies is capable or powerful enough to give you something that act and speak and feel exactly like the person that you lost.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So again, that's happening with the AI twins, right? So we everybody's created a twin. Everybody, you're either creating video. I create videos in Sora. Some you can
Mhm.
tell it's me. I mean, not me. Some you can't. Right.
Yeah.
I had my aunt call me. I posted one on social media, and she was like, "Oh my god, I loved you in that purple suit. I'm so proud of you." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "TT, that's not me." Um, like, you know what I mean? And she's like,
Yeah.
"What?" And she said, "It looks
I
just
ain't gonna lie. Even though I knew it was AI, I'm like, man, that kind of look real. That look real. So I get why she thought that. I'm like, yeah, that look
yeah."
real.
But you can, so we're all doing it with Google Nano Banana. Like, people are going crazy with these images. You 20 pounds lighter. You look like it's giving you hope. Let me get in the gym right now before January 1, because I could be this thin. It look like me. So it's
Yeah.
it's happening now on the positive side. Like, and again, you don't know who's what, because
Right.
catfishing is real. I meet people, I'm like, girl, that ain't you on your
Yeah.
profile picture. Like, it could be, as you're stating this, though, we're seeing it happen, but a
Hmm.
lot of these platforms are now, to your point, combining all of this technology, the machine learning part. It's training, it's learning, it's getting smarter,
Yeah.
right? And so a lot of the information that I put out now is like, hey, businesses, you need to understand the infrastructure, your company, and the infrastructure of the app, right?
Hmm.
How is your information entering into that? How is it being used? What can it be used for? How can it be manipulated? And to your point, that's exactly what's happening. It's taking all this information and it's creating something that ultimately will get you hooked.
Yeah,
Why? Because it's a need there. There's a need for you to be near this person. And you're like, oh, they're gone, but I could just pick up the phone and be like, oh, hey,
yeah,
hey, granny, like, I miss you. Like, it's that interdependence. So, the technical breakdown, spot on. I just want people to understand that when you put this information, even when you're doing it from a perspective of, hey, let me create this photo of me,
hmm,
Google isn't deleting your photo,
you know what? Yeah, that's
right?
yeah,
Sora,
absolutely.
for me to create that image in Sora, I had to look at the phone, turn to my right, then turn to my left, and then I had to say a sentence. And
Hmm.
that's how they're creating these videos that look like me and sound like me.
And it sounds just like you, and just and you want to know what's crazy, and based off what just you saying a sentence is able to detect
Yeah.
your pattern in the way that you speak, and it sounds almost identical to the actual person. You would never know it. You would never know the difference unless you really into AI, and you could tell like, okay, that's not really Tiff. Okay,
Hmm.
that's Tiff right there. But yeah, just speaking a simple sentence, it can detect the exact pattern and make it sound exactly like you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's
it's
a crazy
crazy.
thing. It's definitely crazy. Man, Tiff, it was something I wanted to add. I can't. It kind of left my. Yeah, it kind of just flew out. Is it anything you want to add on this particular topic?
Again, to your earlier point, really using artificial intelligence um to uplift you, and making sure you're categorizing the voids in your life appropriately.
Hmm.
Meaning, okay, I want to start a business. Would AI be good for this? um again, I'm feeling depressed today, or hey, I'm missing this loved one today, or um a lot of the mental health apps have been banned or whatever the case may be, which rightfully so. But it's like, you need to make sure that you're understanding what you're using artificial intelligence for,
Hmm.
and that it's really remembering that it's a tool, it's not a substitute. It can never replace who you are. People will argue me up and down about, well, artificial intelligence is replacing jobs. No, that's a leadership choice. They're choosing to
Right.
put a tool and change the way
Exactly.
that they do business. It's not
Exactly.
replacing the person. A machine can never be a person. I don't
That is
care.
a fact.
I don't care how we frame that. So just making sure that we're making smart decisions,
Hmm.
even in our exploration phase of different things,
Hmm.
right? Um, when I teach classes at Rock Valley, our community college here, and people ask me, where should they start? Start with something you know something about. So you can start to build trust with the tool. Don't just jump head first into something you know nothing about. And again, you know nothing about the company. You don't understand or know their motives for doing certain things, right?
Hmm.
So there's good uses, there's bad case uses, but all in all, you have to start at a comfortability level for you, but also really truly understand why you're using this thing, and is it
Absolutely.
healthy?
Hmm. Yeah, I first of all, to appreciate that, an amazing breakdown as far as what we need to lean into.
Yeah,
Uh, my conclusion is stop playing with the circle of life, man.
man. Look, I was gonna let you say that because I knew you. Look, testing. Is this thing on? I knew you were gonna do it. I
Yeah,
knew you
stop
was gonna
playing with
tell
the
them.
circle of life. When we say tools, that's it and that's all. Use it as a
Yeah,
tool. Like
yeah.
me, if you gonna grieve, use AI because they got AI platforms that will help you or give you advice on ways to deal with grief. You know what I'm saying? The
Man, go
grieving
get you a
process.
counselor. Go get no.
Or a counselor,
Look.
like the worst thing you can do, at least, and I'm speaking from my opinion, and I'm
Yeah.
sure Tiff feel the same way. The
Yeah.
worst thing you could do is replicate somebody that you trying to get over, right?
Man.
You will never get over it at that point. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's my conclusion, y'all. Like, if you search for AI tools that's capable of providing a tool and not something that's kind of playing with the circle of life, the natural of life. Yeah, yeah. I don't. I like Tiff said. I get the intent behind it. I don't necessarily condone it though. I feel like it makes some people lives harder, maybe
Yeah.
most. Depending on how well you, depending on your grieving process. You know, some people deal with death easier than others, but then you have people that's, you know, it's been 20, 30 years since they lost somebody and they still haven't got over it. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine if somebody like that got a hold of this tool and I just have to see this person. I just want to talk to them one last time. Now, next thing you know, they living the rest of their life, you know, dealing with grief. And yeah. So man, Tiff, that was an amazing episode. Definitely, as always, it's always a natural conversation.
Yeah.
I know we had a few notes down, but a lot of this it came from the heart. I could see it in your face.
Yeah.
You know,
almost broke me down a little bit. I was like, "Oh, don't do it. Don't do it."
I was like,
Take
okay, she gonna keep it together. I seen it coming. But then if it did come, I was gonna do my best to comfort you and go get some tissue if you got to. We'll put them on. It's a very sensitive conversation. Like, I know that's and again, I need to get a list of exactly the name of the platforms, but it's a sensitive conversation. You know, you said you just recently lost your father. My father been gone since I was 2, and it took me 15 plus years to even get over that, you know, or at least understand why it happened and deal with the fact, like, okay, I get it now, you know, and that's not something I will even want to re-spark or bring into my so again. Like, I just want to appreciate the stories, the pictures. Like, I'm cool with cherishing that. And yeah, Tiff, without that being said, that was I enjoyed that conversation. It was a few times where I got chills based on you know, our personal stories.
Yeah.
You know, the article, the story itself. And that's what it's about, you know. So this is what keeps us wanting to create the content for real, is having conversations that's informative, but also being able to tie in those personal stories as well.
Yeah.
So
it's unfiltered. Like, I love the flow of the conversation. It's unfiltered, and I purposely didn't say the app's name too much. But first of all, they not sponsoring you. Number 2,
right.
Number 1, 2.
Yeah, you did the right thing.
And number 2, it's a general conversation about just AI in general, because that's not the only app like that, to your point. And again, what you need to be, the most important jewels that you need to take away from these conversations is, again, what should you be looking out for? It may sound good to you, but again, we want to give you the things that will, again, position you in the right space and the right mindset to say, you know what, that's not for me. As good as it sounds, it's not for me. It's not a tool that's going to help me. AI is a tool. And that's why, again, we continue to have these conversations. And I love being on your platform, because it is truly, I mean, again, I've been in this game since 2023. Right, talking about AI, using it, and I've seen how it's evolved. Even though I'm an AI advocate, and I'm fearful of some of the things that I'm seeing, because it's just like,
and it surprises me every time we send an article. I'll be scratching my head like, man, this can't be real. It surprises me, like the type of, I wouldn't even have thought of no shit like that, like, for real. Like, I'm like, okay, this is crazy right here.
Crazy.
But yeah, Tiff, I'm always grateful for having you on the platform, your expertise. It's not every day you get to converse with anybody that's into the artificial intelligence. Like, we got a lot of people on the internet that bring people on for the content, yeah, but they not really into artificial intelligence for real, you know what I'm saying? So it's always good to converse with somebody that's the expert in that area, and being able to have a meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all, just make sure you as always, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow my IG page, Tiff IG page, and you know, the views, as long as we see support, that's what give me the push and the momentum that I need to continue to put these episodes out. So without that being said, y'all, life is good, life is wonderful, be blessed to be alive, self-sufficiency is how you survive. To the kings and queens, to the gods and goddess, forever and always, think successfully, it's sexually.